Meeting called to order. I mean, it's not on the agenda to do all this other stuff. If you want me to, I will.
No, I just.
Close your eyes, yeah.
Good thing to do.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, let this be a quick and easy meeting. Bring us all together to make a good decision for us, the council. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Visitors, stand up, identify yourself, your name, address. Keep it to 3 minutes. Go ahead, Mr. Woods.
Walter Woods, Canton Township. Is this a meeting of the Canton Borough or a vacancy board?
Canton Borough.
Okay. I don't know what else to ask because there isn't really much
Correct.
on here, and I don't know why the Canton Borough is meeting.
I'm gonna get to that. in
Okay.
2 minutes, well.
Can we ask questions at the end instead of asking a bunch of questions now? And
Possibly, yeah. I don't think you'll have the heat to, but
that's why I'm saying that. And the agenda wasn't posted 24 hours online before the meeting. Just
I don't think it has to be. I think it just needs to be posted here.
no,
the meeting
it has to be
But I'll
posted
double
on the
check.
website 24 hours in advance.
We don't have a website.
Oh, we went. Facebook page is more than likely going to count as a website. Like if the attorney went in front of a judge and said, or the judge said,
Okay.
give me a list of all your websites, the attorney would probably give the Facebook page. So it would count. So, and it'd be good for the community. Okay.
Anybody else? Go ahead, ma'am.
Deanna Watkins in Canton Borough. I just wanted to express my interest in the position that will likely be open. My other question though was, has the vacancy board appointed their community member? And if we could know who that was?
Correct me on the last name.
It's appointed at the January meeting, and it is Will Holmes.
Will Holmes, and they will meet probably within the next 15-ish days. And it'll most likely be very similar to the process that happened a week and a day ago.
Okay, that's also a public meeting, right?
Yes.
So we could attend that. Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Anyone else? You have a question? Frank?
Yeah, I just want to request a point of information. I did notice after our April 8th council meeting that the solicitor and some others remained in the Borough Hall here. So I just want to respectfully ask you if any legal opinions or any discussion took place or was considered, if you could share that with
Yeah.
council as a whole, please.
That's what
we're gonna
Yep.
talk about.
Yeah, we're
So-
gonna talk about it, but I get real quick. Yeah, so I was, at one point, I think, it was, Brett Neely, cause he was ready to vote, and he said, what happens if we don't, and so Mike had said something about, well, it goes to the courts. And I'm thinking, well, which is true, except there's a step in between. And I thought it had to do with a vacancy chair, but I know Will Holmes, so I'm thumbing through this
Right,
quickly
right.
to get to it. By the time I got to it, the vote was already made. So when we got done, I just said to Mike, I said, Mike, actually, it's, there is a vacancy board and so forth. And I think that's what prompted
Right.
this hearing. The other thing I wanted to do, and I wanted to check on this real quick. There was an issue when the mayor, when it was Sean's, he came up, yeah, no, Sean's vote came up.
Yeah,
And
as
it
a
was
tie.
3 to 3 tie.
Yeah.
And then Dean voted, and somebody had said, well, isn't that a conflict of interest? I didn't think it was, so, but like I said, I don't have my case law right in front of me, so I did a real quick check on that. And of course, you've got what's called perceived conflicts of interest,
Right.
but what's the legal conflict of interest? So I wanted to look it up before I go, because once I go and then you get distracted, you gotta do it now, and so that's why a lot of times so what I found was, and just so you know now, and it's good for me too, because now I know.
Right.
So what happens with voting, because it doesn't happen that much, that
Uh-huh.
the mayor has to break a tie involving another person. So anytime a council member or a mayor has to vote on something, they may have to recuse themselves if this happens. If there is a, just if I remember the language, a direct and immediate personal or pecuniary gain. I think that was, well, there's a statute, but then there's a case I found, it's a Commonwealth Court case. I don't have it with me, I didn't bring it with me, but it was from 1991, I think. And it kind of specified, it used that language. And I just wanted to check on it, because I didn't,
Yeah.
you know, so I did. So that's why I,
Yeah. Well, again, it's not a gotcha question.
And then I had to use the bathroom.
You know, transparency, I just was curious, because I'd rather than hear it from you than.
Yeah, so that's
someone
why I
else.
think
So
that
appreciate
led to that. Now, that other thing was just for my own, you know, because somebody had asked me, is that comprehensive? I said, I don't think so, but I wanted to check.
That's fair.
Because I'm like, I wanted to condemn, I didn't want to say absolutely, no,
Right.
I want to say, I don't, you know, not to my knowledge, but then I looked it up just for my own.
Yeah.
The other thing I shared with Mike, and I just said, Mike, listen, I think you might wanna, well, I mean, and he did, in
Yeah,
fact,
that's what we're
called
doing
today.
right now, right?
What's that?
That's what we're doing
That's
right
what
now.
caused today's meeting,
Right, right.
so that was that. The other thing I just kinda did on my own, because I didn't wanna be wrong.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, so that's
greatly
why,
appreciated.
that's what kept me
Yeah.
a little bit later. Now, I usually don't have dinner until after the meeting, so that's why, when the meeting's over, I usually get out of here.
Yeah,
But this
right.
time
That's what I thought, usually you're
No, I
at
know,
the board.
well, I did this time, so I did
Yeah.
I did a little like research, because I don't have it all up here, I have to admit.
No, we're, like you said, 80% of the time, we're all on the same page,
Yeah.
we're all fallible.
Yeah, so that was that.
So that's all I had,
Yeah,
just
that's
a
what I-
quick question.
Thank
The
you.
only other thing I wanna do, Pete, you and I have talked since the last meeting. I just wanna, acknowledge you and give you a public apology for the way I carried myself the last meeting. No harm, no foul. Like I said, I didn't even know your name. You live 2 houses down from me, so. But I think we're good now, and, I just ask for forgiveness. All right? Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, thank you, everybody.
Uh-uh.
So,
My name is Dave Astor
Sorry.
McNeely, and I live in the borough, 373 South Minnequaw, and I am also expressing interest in the vacancy.
okay. Thank you. So, I misspoke at the last meeting, and I apologize for that. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this, and we would have just scheduled the vacancy board meeting. So, my apologies. That's why I asked for the email to go out and cited the code. So my bad. So, 30 days ends on, what, tomorrow?
Correct.
So,
It is not on the agenda to even vote on anybody tonight. So there's an additional 15 days after that the vacancy board has to meet to appoint, and it doesn't say that they can't meet once, twice, or 3. So my recommendation though is to, much like we did the last one, advertise and tell everybody, any interested parties that would like to submit or resubmit need to do so by the close of business on whatever day. Dropping a letter off here. Letters need to be submitted or resubmitted by that date. So if you've already applied or shown your interest, you would have to do that all over again so that it's fair to everybody. And the process will be very similar, but probably also slightly different. That way there's no advantage to one person or another. So that is my recommendation. We would just add, we will not be setting the date, that'll be up to Will Holmes. He will be the chair for the vacancy board, so that'll be his meeting. So we're gonna be at his mercy of when that is, so all of council, I would ask that if you could, either turn in dates of conflicts that you could not attend a meeting. That way we can hopefully, oh shoot.
Turn that into me, right?
Yeah, I forgot, I was gonna call George,
Okay.
so that he was. Anybody opposed to me calling him on my cell phone, so he's on speaker?
No.
No, definitely.
Ah,
There's a point there, he won't be able to vote, is that correct?
yeah, and I already talked to him and explained that because he's,
So I think he answered your question, so council will have to be present for that.
Correct.
yes,
We are-
you're
All right, I
voting,
wasn't sure if it was
you have to be in the
separate.
building to have voting powers.
Okay, that's fair, thank you.
Hello, you reached George. Leave a message.
Sounds like he's on the road then, because it went straight to voicemail. So I'll touch base with him again. He did call and inform me he couldn't make this. So, again, my recommendation is, first we'll be at the mercy of Will Holmes and his schedule and when he can meet. Advertise, anybody that's interested, turn in an application by, so let's probably set that date first. Keep in mind, it'll go to the paper. So probably what, Thursday would be the soonest it'd be published in a,
Correct.
so if the 18th is the soonest it shows up in a printed publication, then we would need a date after that to allow mail delivery to here or dropped off in person. That's up to all of us. And then the 15th day is May 2nd. So it'd have to be before that. So keep that in mind. Two things, won't go to publish until the 18th. Meeting has to happen before May 2nd. So originally I was looking at it and thinking the 23rd or 24th, sorry, to turn anything in. And then potentially having a meeting, but again, that'll be up to Will,
Right.
anytime after that.
That'll give it 5 or 6 days to pick, choose from, right?
So,
Which day of the week are those?
the 23rd is, well, I'm sorry, the 18th is a Thursday. The 23rd, I'm sorry, the 18th is a Thursday.
Right.
The 23rd is a Tuesday. May 2nd is a Thursday. So, turn those in if you could, that way Mrs. Seeley can then forward conflicts to Will, and then, but we're gonna be at his mercy, cause it'll be.
If we make the motion. Are you looking for a motion?
Yeah, we can, and we can discuss it more, that's how it should be done. I was just kinda giving my opinion. So,
What motion would you like?
to advertise for council to be, we don't have to say the date.
For letters
but
of interest.
Letters of interest to be turned in no later than close the business on the 23rd.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Joy or Brian, they both
No,
said it
no,
the
no,
same,
no,
they
don't-
both said it
don't
at the
put
same
Joy
time,
down.
so it
She
doesn't
can
matter.
say-
Any
publicity.
discussion?
Just
Um,
a clarification question like I had before, they're to be personally dropped off? That's how it was before.
Okay.
They can be,
That's how it was before.
but they have to be, because they can be mailed also, if they should.
Mailed, right,
And not
or
emailed.
personally dropped off, right, okay.
Mailed, you'd be at the mercy of the mail
Post
system
office.
if it gets here or not.
That's why we need to give them a couple of days.
Amy,
Yep.
would the Dropbox be considered, because there is a camera on that, if they drop it off like at 6 AM or something, and then send you an email, say, hey, listen, I put it in the Dropbox, would that count or no?
I mean, that's up to council, I'm in the office, so I get that I'm not here at 6 AM, but
Yeah.
But you.
I'm just saying,
If they
like-
put it in a box, you do check it every day though.
the box is checked every day, yeah.
So I'd follow up with an email, because a lot of times, like, if I put something in, I stop at 6, and then, you know, but if it gets hung up in there or something, which could
Or if the
happen.
email doesn't get delivered
Yeah,
or whatever.
so, an idea. The only thing I would ask, President Schultz, if you could just put a feeler out there to Mr. Holmes, and just say, hey, listen, you know, we have a lot of people that travel out, and if he would take into consideration maybe to have a meeting at like 5:30 or later, I think that may be the
Yep.
best
I'm
for us.
sure
he will.
But that's his determination, but I just kindly ask him if he
Yep.
would consider that as an option.
I have a quick question.
Keep in mind, this was only scheduled for 20 minutes, we
I'm
have
almost
6
done.
left. Yep.
Will Holmes, this was not new to him, he's been in this position for 15 years?
I
At
don't
least
recall.
A long time.
He's been in it a while.
We appoint him every January, he's just
Right.
never done it before, I just wanted to.
Actually, he's done it once.
So I'll call
Okay,
for
so
a
I-
point of order, because we
I'm
do have a
sorry.
motion.
He was just asking a question, we're in discussion.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
we're
still,
discussing
we don't
about that.
vote yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're discussing, because I didn't want anybody to think that we went out and picked him yesterday.
Right.
It's a position
point.
that is held, it just doesn't have to do anything very often.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Jennings absent, Williams.
Yes.
Schultz.
Aye.
Preston.
Aye.
Neely absent, Koval.
Aye.
Any questions?
No,
Perfect.
because it's not for the council. Any questions I have, it would be for the vacancy board.
So, please, anybody that's interested,
Or if you know anybody.
or if you know of anybody, have them turn in anything. Anything prior to this moment will not count, so all new stuff. And you'll hear from either Will Holmes or the borough about when the meeting will be. It'll be here, but just date and time will be determined by him. So if there's nothing else, I'll motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
I just had one comment. I was, approached via messenger, by a community member who doesn't live in the borough, but I just wanted council to know that they were asking about forming an activist group, and I did deny, like, that I'm not interested in something like that. So in case something like that would come up, I would want council to know that I would not have a part of that.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Ben. Anyone else? Motion to adjourn 5 minutes early.
Second.
Roll call. Sorry.
Sorry, Neely, Koval,
Aye.
Schultz.
Aye.
Williams, Preston.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you, guys. Sorry for the confusion.
Thanks, sir.